Hello!
Hello!
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Adam.
Welcome to I Love You But, where we talk about common relationship issues.
And our advice on how to deal
while we drink wine.
While we drink wine. And what are we talking about this week?
This week we're talking about chores.
Which is touchy.
Ugh.
It's touchy, it's sensitive, and it's the great divider, I think.
Chores.
Yeah.
And you have to say it like that.
Chores.
Yeah. Well, this week we are drinking a Rosé. Saint Sagnol, Côtes, Varios, and Provence.
You said that in perfect Francais.
Thank you. Yes, I'm from the South. No, I cannot speak any French.
Not at all.
So we're gonna drink this. It was what, like $4.99 at Trader Joe's?
It was in fact $4.99.
Yeah.
Got it today.
And something that we have realized is that one bottle of wine just doesn't really get us drunk enough. So we're gonna drink probably two, maybe a little bit less, but definitely more than one.
We just don't want to be limited by the single bottle situation.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all.
Exactly.
Because it's too much fun to keep drinking.
So Adam's gonna have a bottle, I'm gonna have a bottle, and we're gonna see who drinks more at the end.
All right.
Should we just
Oh, you're
drink out
just
of the
giving?
bottle?
I don't.
No. I just didn't know where else to put it. All right. So I have a bottle. Adam has a bottle. We are gonna use glasses tonight. But
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I almost took a sip.
We can take a sip.
I'm such an eager wine enthusiast.
I like it. It's a pretty good rosé.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It kind of has the $5 feel to it, where it's like sweet and also bitter. Like I'm getting that today.
I feel like it needs to be a little colder. I'm gonna put ice in mine.
You live your best life, you know.
I will.
Yeah, like a good rosé just like tastes sweet, and it's very, you know, all your friends are like, oh, it's like juice. It goes down to, it's so good and everything. But like,
I don't think rosé would taste like juice necessarily.
but it's like really sweet and just enjoyable.
It is sweet. I don't think it's too sweet. It's not like a Moscato sweet.
No, but this has a bitterness that isn't as smooth as I was
I think it's because it's not as cold as we want it to be.
Fair enough. Good.
Anyway, we're gonna drink a glass and then we'll be back.
Yeah.
All right, so this is where we're at. I'm a little.
That's even. It doesn't. That's
I'm
even.
a little bit less than you,
That's even.
but whatever.
It doesn't matter.
Who's looking? Who's counting?
It's not a competition. It's not a competition.
So chores.
Welcome to I Love You But, the drinking game.
The drink.
You have one goal and no responsibilities. The points are made up and they don't matter. Whatever.
Chores. Chores is, I feel like, a tricky one.
The trickiest of all the tricky ones. I think of anything that we could talk about. I think this is at least subconsciously what makes or breaks the most people. You know, like the most relationships.
Yeah.
If I just had to like take a general guess at it. So just from what I've seen.
A lot of relationship strife comes from chores, I think. And we talked about before subtext of an argument. So like we could be fighting about something, but it's really, oh my god, the dishes are up to, you know, the fucking top of the sink on both sides from the sink. And what do we, like, I'm fighting with you about something, but it's actually about that because there was so much resentment built up. But
And what?
oh, I thought you were like, wait, was that the other day? Like,
No, I was.
I was like, what are you talking about?
No, not at all. Have we defined chores yet? Did we define you have a beautiful way of describing this.
Maybe.
Hold on, let me build it up some more and make you really uncomfortable.
No. Okay, so chores
versus picking up after yourself.
Yeah, so
those are the two separate.
There's two things. So chores is when you schedule, or you don't even have to schedule, but you know, you're doing a thing for a specific amount of time. So like, I'm gonna do the dishes for 15 or 20 minutes. That's a chore. I'm gonna clean the whole bathroom, which includes the mirror, the sink, the bathtub, the floor, the toilet, like all of it. And that's gonna take me 15 or 20 minutes. That's a chore. I'm gonna vacuum the whole apartment. It's a chore. But versus
clothing that's on the floor, that is not a chore.
It's not a chore, it's just picking up.
Picking up after yourself.
Like when
it becomes a chore when you leave every article of clothing you own out in piles across your apartment or home.
Yeah. So to me, like if you're gonna change clothes, part of changing clothes is putting your clothes that you're already wearing in the hamper.
Mm-hmm.
Or like part of making dinner, I mean, you make the dinner, you eat the dinner, and then you wash the dishes. Or while something's cooking, you know, you're washing a dish or something like that. You know, it's just a completion of a task instead of like a set aside time to do housework. Like my family. My family.
Are we already on this?
Yeah, my family used to, every Sunday we would do chores. Every Sunday without fail. So, you know, my brother would mow the lawn. I would clean the windows and vacuum, and definitely my room, but also like shared areas. Maybe polish the silver, like, you know, the things like that.
I think it's so funny you call it polishing the silver. That cracks me up.
What else did you call it?
I don't know. There's fucking whatever. We just called it silverware.
No. This is like actual silverware.
Oh, see,
yeah,
I didn't have that.
Tarnishes and we didn't use it a lot.
Gotcha.
We just had it, and it needed to be polished sometimes.
5 years, and you still learn something.
Right? Yeah, we had actual silverware.
I didn't.
I'll show you next time we go home.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, cool. Yeah. Anyways, this is potent rosé.
Yeah. So when you talk about chores, you obviously have to talk about gender roles. You know?
Oh, I know.
You know. So, I mean, when you think about chores and you think about housework, when I think of the word housework, if we were playing a word association game, like
you would immediately think of a woman with a vacuum
wife would automatically come to mind. Yeah, a woman with a vacuum and an apron and like doing all the things and like cooking dinner for when her husband gets home, like right at 6 o'clock. So I think that that's something that you have to talk about within your relationship, because, I mean, even for us, like, I feel like the longer we date, the more that we fall into these gender roles. And it's not something that we do. I'm sorry.
I'm interested to see where you're going. Keep going.
I mean, it is interesting to see how that happens, because like when we first started dating, we're like, oh my God, let me do this for you and let me do this for you. And the longer we date, it's just like, I mean, both of us have this mentality of, oh, well, I didn't do this thing, but it'll get done. And I think that when you have that thought, it'll get done, it just means that the other person is going to do it. And it's not a malicious thing. It's not like Adam is trying to have me do all the dishes or do all the housework or vice versa. I think it's just...
Well, it's interesting you I
didn't even end that.
That's okay. Hold up. It's interesting that you bring up gender roles and the let me do this for you, let me do this for you idea. Because at the beginning, the gender role, right? If you're living together, gender role is because I'm thinking back to when we started.
Yeah.
You definitely would clean more than me.
I still clean more than he does.
She does.
Which is fine. You call me what?
Kelly has a flopping dick.
Did I miss something here? Like,
I'm super gay. No.
Okay.
So yes, Kelly still very much cleans more than me. But like when you look back at the beginning, part of that gender role was like me paying for dinners and stuff, and like me taking you out more.
Yeah. I'd agree with that totally.
But so with those gender roles, and this is something that I see a lot.
I'd also like to say that like sometimes, you know, especially in the beginning, it'd be like, oh my God, Kelly, like look, I washed all the dishes, or like, oh my God, I cleaned, and I'd be like, oh my God,
like, oh my God,
my boyfriend.
I'm dating the good one.
My boyfriend like did my laundry, like oh my God, wow, I'm so
As
lucky.
You get comfortable though, fuck all of that. Don't close the door when you go to the bathroom. None of it.
Ew.
I'm kidding. Close the door when you go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but like, wait, back to gender roles. So like, definitely something that I'm seeing that like in my good friends and their relationships and stuff is like, the girl in the relationship complains that the guy doesn't clean a lot, just doesn't, and that's kind of like this weird leftover thing that just kind of happens sometimes. You know, we talk about the 50s and how it was like that. That is not that long ago. It just isn't. It's
not.
It is one generation ago, and it takes time for those things to go away. So it's important.
Like 2 generations.
Like at least 2, but especially what? At least 2 generations out. It takes time to change thought.
It does.
And so with the guy, where was I? E.T. Fuck. I totally forgot what I was saying. Something that's really unique to today, or maybe it's not unique. No, it's definitely unique to today. Is that a lot of households are dual income households. They're wheeling and dealing, dog. But in a dual income household, the expectation has always been that like there's a breadwinner and then they come home. Mm-hmm. But like
the expectation has been that the man is the breadwinner.
Right.
And that's changing. A lot of women are the breadwinners. And that can
Truth.
Yeah.
Truth. But in a dual income household, it's easy. I think it definitely is easier for the guy to let the household things go. Just out of subconsciously instilled gender roles.
Yeah.
And it's important to remember that as much as you do not want to come home and do dishes after you've worked an 8-hour shift at a restaurant or at a desk or whatever it is that you're doing, neither does the other person who's working also an 8-hour shift. And they should not then also have to clean.
Yeah.
Just by nature of being the opposite sex.
Yeah. And if you're working the same amount, and even if you're earning the same amount, it's kind of, it's a dual income household, and you need to split the personal responsibilities the same way, So, like, for example, I mean, we split everything down the middle right now because we kind of make the same amount and we work the same amount. So we
too much and not enough. We both work way too much and not enough. We'll go days without seeing each other.
Yeah.
Go on.
It's interesting. We're splitting everything financially down the middle right now, and to me that also says, okay, well, we need to split everything whoa, that got everywhere. We need to split everything that we do in the household down the middle too, because we're making the same amount and we're working the same amount of hours, You're into that bottle. Should I be jealous of this bottle? All right, no. No, put it down. Yep.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So, but there is some
fucking Rosé though. I do something about
Rosé like fucks him up.
It does.
But there is some compromise that you have to have too. So like, if there is a period of time where like Adam just said like sometimes we don't see each other for 3 days, and that normally means that Adam's not home for 3 days. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I'm picking up after myself, and I'm also doing the chores, and I'm kind of like doing all the work on that side, but he's also out working. So I do expect him to do the same for me when I get really busy.
Yeah.
So it's a push and a pull kind of thing.
Which happens constantly as an ebb and flow.
Yeah.
One of us gets way busier than
exactly.
the other. So.
But compromise also has a lot to do with your background. And can I share the story? It's a really great story.
Do you want to share it, or can I share it?
Can we both do it?
Okay, we'll tag team a bit. All right.
Okay.
All right.
So a few years ago, maybe this was like 2.5, 3 years after we had officially started dating.
Which is a substantial, and we've been living together for most of that time.
For like 2 years out of that time at least, and we had known each other for 5.5 years, and
it had just never come up.
Wait.
Go on.
So we were out at dinner or walking or something like that, and we had been having a lot of issues about cleaning and what is clean and like when you need to clean, who needs to clean. And so we were walking, we were kind of talking about it, and all of a sudden Adam just looks over and he goes, "Did you do chores growing up?" And I was like, "Yeah, duh, every Sunday I did chores with my family. Of course I did chores. Did you do chores?" And he was like,
No.
And we were both like, oh, this makes so much sense.
It does. And it's not that I didn't clean or I didn't have things to do around the house, because I totally did.
He did.
But
no, you cleaned. I'm sorry, you did. You cleaned. Keep going.
That was you're gonna have to call my mother and apologize to her, because I did clean.
I know you cleaned.
Anyways,
I know you made him clean, Shelly.
Like I did. Most of what I did was yard work and whatnot. But like as far as
gender roles.
Yeah, right. Gender roles, right?
I did yard work. I weeded.
That's good.
Yeah, I weeded.
Weeding can be actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd mow lawn and weed and stuff. But like as far as inside the house, I would clean every once in a while, but it was when I was asked to, which wasn't extremely frequent. but also I was kind of like that binge cleaning sensibility was instilled in me very early because I would like scrub the whole house, ceiling to floor, getting ready for like a holiday party.
Yeah.
And I could do it like a pro. I was really good at it, but I would only do it on those occasions.
And that's where we kind of butt heads because cleaning every day for a little bit of time is much more important to me than binge cleaning. And Adam would binge clean, which
like,
again, he was
really
great
hard.
at. He's great at binge cleaning, but like I don't operate like that. And so our ideas and definitions of what was clean and what isn't clean is we are still figuring it out. We're still compromising, but we have a better understanding of each other now.
Yeah, and maybe we always will, but we also have an effective way of communicating those situations as they arise. But this leads perfectly into an amazing situation that I think a lot of people deal with and maybe don't always address it. And that is the fact that she sees it as dirty before me. I am a binge cleaner, and I just don't see it as dirty. I don't see it in need of a cleaning as soon as she does. And because of that simple fact, Kelly will always clean it before me if left to her own devices.
Which means that I'm cleaning more than Adam.
Without me thinking that I'm doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
Because it was never dirty in the first place.
Yeah, so it's not a conscious, I'm going to let Kelly clean more.
Right.
It's just...
It's not even out of laziness.
No.
It's really out of like a misinformation or just like a different starting point, a different standard.
Yeah.
Not that my standards are terrible. I'm definitely not a messy guy. So maybe in that situation, maybe not, where somebody's cleaning before the other, maybe they inherently see a different situation than you.
Yeah.
All okay as long as communication's there.
And maybe you should define what clean means to you.
Yeah.
Because like I don't expect to live in a fucking, a pottery barn magazine. Or like a Pinterest page like magazine, but I do want things to be picked up.
I would love to live in a pottery.
I know, right? It would be great. But I don't expect things to be pristine all the time, but I do want things to be, put in their homes. That's something that we haven't talked about.
All right, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
No, I want to do the other thing.
Okay,
all right.
Okay, go.
So, kind of what it all boils down to when the communications there is shifting from she does this and I do this and whatnot to we do this. And teamwork.
And teamwork.
Yeah. So it's totally...
We both said teamwork.
Ah, what a team we are. So reading the other topics involve like maybe a little more research. This one, there was one article that totally blew my mind. And the teamwork aspect was really what was made apparent to me. It was like, it was a study between happy and unhappy couples and why that is.
Oh, yeah, that one.
And teamwork, this idea of we instead of you, me, totally changed a lot of my philosophy, or at least my understanding. It gave better terms to what I thought was going on, you know. And the example of the happy, the example of the happy couple was, I think...
Are you a Rosé now?
I'm definitely... I feel no pain right now. There's nothing could bother me right now.
Okay.
So the happy couple in this instance, their home, I think they were preparing for a barbecue. So they basically, like, cameras were set up around the homes of the study subjects, and they just saw how they were day to day, because eventually you forget the cameras and you keep operating, you know, as a couple. And even though they, like, generally the guy did outdoor stuff and the girl did indoor stuff in this marriage, they were preparing for a barbecue in a similar situation, but they still saw the whole thing as one giant thing that they needed to do as teamwork. A single entity, as teamwork. As hosts. And so, you know, he was like at the grill, you know, flipping the thing or whatever, flipping the burgers.
Flipping the thing, that's what the kids call it these days.
Flipping the grill, flipping the burgers and the hot dogs and the whatnot, as one barbecue may do, the quinoa patties. And
my
since we live in LA, the quinoa patties, the quinoa patties. But anyway, so he's doing that at the grill, and she was preparing some stuff inside, and then she walked outside for a second, and he was like, "Did you get the buns?" And she was like, "I'm on it," and turned around and grabbed buns, and like Sharon came back, and then he was like, "Oh, I need to grab a thing," and he went inside, and it was this seamless energy. It seemed like where he was like, "Cool, I'm going inside," and she's like, "I'm gonna man the grill for a second," like. And that's how, throughout this study, that this happier couple had approached all of the chores, all of the housework, was even though he did most outside stuff because he liked it, and she did most inside stuff because she liked it, they still saw the whole thing.
Preferred it.
Or preferred it, yeah. That just came out. They still...
That's what she said.
They still saw the whole thing. They still saw the whole thing as one thing that needed to be done by one team, and
there was another couple there, right?
Well, of course, there's another.
Okay,
couple.
So what was the other couple doing?
The other couple was the opposite of everything I just described, and it actually, I like teared up reading this a little bit. So in this study, this unhappy couple, the guy actually tried to stay at work longer hours because he felt that his home situation was so stressful and he could only get away from his home situation by being at work.
That's not good.
That's horrible. Just that alone just makes my heart hurt. And the cameras, when they were on, what's up?
I can hear your heart breaking.
They captured this very like dominant submissive relationship where it just happened to be the wife in this situation who is the dominant, for housework, and the husband the submissive, and she would not only tell him to do stuff, she would then tell him that he needed her to tell him because he was so incompetent, and it was so belittling, and like it just sounded so damaging, and like, but they had kids that were around it all the time too, and like, so they saw it like in this, they saw it as it wouldn't get done unless she said, you have to do this or else it won't get done, and then he would do it, and then she would go, "You're doing it wrong anyways, I'll just do it."
Yeah,
and then
which
she
happens
would
a
end
lot.
up doing it.
But that's also why you need to have the conversation of what is clean, because your partner could be cleaning something and think that it's totally fine, and then you are like, "That's not clean. I have to do it," which has definitely happened to us before.
I like want more, even though
just wait.
But I'm afraid of what tomorrow's gonna feel like.
Just wait. Just
okay.
Take it as it comes, glass by glass.
Okay.
I mean, we've definitely had the problems where I'm like, "Hey, will you clean this thing?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And then I'm like, "You didn't do it." And he's like, "Yeah, I did." I'm like, "No, that's not clean though." So, I mean, we've had that conversation, but you need to keep having that conversation so this resentment doesn't build up. Keep
having that conversation productively.
Yeah,
communicate effectively.
I don't want Adam to think that he
background
can't
is
come
so
home.
Yeah.
I don't want him to want to work more to not be around chores and housework and me.
No
Like
bueno.
that's pretty terrible.
No bueno.
And I think that's something that helps some couples is creating a schedule. I mean, every Tuesday you could take out the trash. Every Wednesday night you clean the bathroom. Every Saturday morning you vacuum the whole apartment. Like,
bro, you want to go out on this Wednesday? No, dude, I got a hot date with the toilet scrubber.
Exactly. I would say that schedule doesn't work for us.
It doesn't, but
apparently we tried it. I don't remember, but
schedule can also mean a couple different things. I had an amazing moment when it was clear that I wasn't doing dishes and you were, which was a result of you seeing it as needing to be done and me being a binge cleaner. So you saw it before me and everything. This amazing moment was every morning while I'm making breakfast, or almost every morning because I'm thinking about it and I think I've been slipping. But every morning while I'm making breakfast, everything's cooking, and I take that 15 minutes and I empty the dish rack and load it up as much as I can. And then, like, no matter what happens, at least progress was made.
So if you have a little bit of time, like while you're doing something else, like cooking breakfast, waiting for your coffee to brew, waiting for your tea to brew, like, you know, pick up a little bit. And that's something that I definitely do. Hello.
Hi.
Like, oh, I'm waiting for this thing to happen. What can I do while I'm waiting for this thing? I do think that's really important, and I appreciate what you do. The other thing, too, is that you have to make compromises, and you have to meet your partner halfway. So, like...
Oh, yeah, we haven't touched on this yet.
We realized that, like, we came from 2 different places, and you're not going to change overnight. You know, he's not going to have the same habits and cleanliness standards that I do, and vice versa. So you can't expect your partner to change overnight. So for me, it's really important to focus on one thing at a time. So, like, okay, if I'm having a problem...
I got to change what you said. For us, it's very important to focus on one thing at a time. On both ends of the spectrum.
On both ends.
Because where I need to come up, sometimes you also need to come down.
Exactly, which is difficult for both of us. So what would happen is that I would be leaving for the day to go to work or something, and I'd be like, hey, can you do this and this and this and this and this and this? And it would really overwhelm Adam.
And I'm like doing, because I work from home a lot, I'd be like getting ready to work and I'm in a different headspace, and I'm like, yeah, I got that one thing. Yeah, I got the 2 things. 6 things? Fuck off.
Yeah. It's just unrealistic.
I'm mad.
It's just unrealistic. And I think that it is important to focus on one thing at a time so that you can feel successful.
Yeah.
You know, and so you can start to change your habits. So
baby steps.
Like Adam said, yeah, I'm a big fan of baby steps in all aspects of everything.
Every day holds a little improvement.
Yeah. And next we'll tackle whatever the next issue is, you know. And I feel like we've done a really good job of meeting each other if not halfway, then like 60-40, 70-30, and it definitely goes both ways, because I've calmed down on my cleanliness standards.
I wouldn't say it's the standards. I would say you've calmed down mostly, honestly, on the communication of those standards. Because that's 6 things at once.
6 things at once? 6 things at once. 6 things at once.
Well, it wasn't a productive way for us to talk about it. It just wasn't.
Well, because that's not going to help either of us change our habits.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's what it comes down to, is really changing your habits is going to help you.
You have to chip away at it. So you keep chipping.
My mind was just like, your sentence is done. Dude, your sentence is totally done.
I super know that. Oh, it's so cold. I just poured wine in my pants.
I know.
I have wine in my pants.
Okay.
I'm just as drunk as I was last night.
We tried to film this episode last night, and it didn't work.
Oh, shit. We haven't even talked... We're like hungover from it. We fucking got ridiculous.
We had technical difficulties.
Yeah. Fucking Apple.
Anyway, we had technical difficulties. We were hungover. I'm pretty much fine. We're drinking the same wine that we got drunk on last night, so our bodies are like, I don't like it. So, you know. Okay, so the other thing, though, is... Wait, you were talking about that article that you read about the happy couple and the not happy couple.
Yeah.
And... I think it's important to find the chores that you actually kind of enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So, but you just need to feel that you are respected by your partner, and that your time and your energy and your efforts are being respected.
I had a thing I wanted to say. I can't remember it.
Adam takes out the trash and the recycling.
That was it. So, like, sometimes, like, taking out the trash is a lot less time than dishes, but it tends to be, like, kind of an even trade with us, because
I just don't want to do it.
She super doesn't want to do it. But if that's not an even trade for you, then find something else to make it an even trade. Like, it works for us because that's kind of even.
Because I just really don't want to take the trash out. And Adam really doesn't want to do a lot of dishes.
I hate doing dishes. So, laundry kind of falls on a 50-50, depending on who's busier.
Right.
Which has been me lately.
And then it was me sometimes, you know? Right. It all just depends. The other thing is...
but you were thinking that you were doing laundry more than me?
No. Oh. Sometimes. The other thing is we have to do laundry because we're yoga teachers. So we absolutely have to do the laundry because I can't wear dirty yoga clothes to a hot yoga class. Like, you know.
That shit's
People
rank.
know. Listen, if you're a
People
student,
know.
if you're a student and you wear dirty yoga clothes to a class, we all know. Everyone smells. Doesn't matter.
Everybody does smell.
So
Just like that book, Everybody Poops.
There's a book called Everybody Poops.
I think so.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's called Everybody Poops.
But I'd say that everything just boils down to communication. Like, be on the same page. Like, know what cleanliness means to you and what it means in your household.
What is a chore to you, and what is picking up after yourself?
What is a chore? What is a chore? Like, please just define that. Like, what is a chore to you?
Is it weekly? Is it monthly? Is it daily?
Exactly. And with that, like, know your background. Like, again, three and a half or whatever, how long it was in that we knew each other and we're dating.
That she stood
We
by
didn't
me
know.
while I created a trail of clothing from the front door to the
It
couch.
was terrible. So just talk about it. Talk about your background
It is terrible.
sooner than we did. You know, you're better at it, I promise. And have more of a teamwork outlook.
Yeah.
Aspect? Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
A teamwork aspect about it instead of a, well, you do this and I do this.
It's we get the things done.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
our household,
Yeah.
you know? But if you need that schedule, if you need okay, well, you take out the trash and I do the dishes or something like that, like, kind of enjoy what you do. And if not enjoy it, just, like, prefer. Like, pick the chores that you're willing to do. And the ones that you're not, take turns at it. You know, like, if neither of you like cleaning the bathtub, like, maybe every other month you do it, you know? And it kind of fits in like that.
It's a long ass time to not clean a bathtub.
Every other month.
I think we just learned that
no.
I brought Kelly's cleanliness standards too far down.
No, that's not what I meant. I meant you clean the bathroom every other month, and I clean the bathroom every
You
other
said
month.
bathtub.
Bathtub. You clean the bathtub every other month, and I clean the bathtub every other month.
So it gets cleaned once a month.
It does get cleaned
in
once
an
a month.
alternating
Yeah,
fashion.
exactly. So you could do something like that.
I see.
Or, you know, and also the other thing too, hello. Stop it.
Sorry.
Is ask for one thing at a time. You want to feel successful. You want to set your partner up for success.
Rome was not built in a day.
Exactly. But
Don't expect it to be.
yes, thank you. I agree with that. It's all about communication. Like, be on the same page and talk about all the things that we told you to talk about early on. And just be open. I mean, we've been dating 5.5, almost 6 years. Like, and we've known each other for almost 8. Oh my God, this is crazy. That's so long. That's such a long time.
Of course I've known that we've been together for 5 or whatever years, but like the 8 years knowing each other, that's what just...
I know, right? They're like,
That
fucks with you.
8 years knowing each other?
Oh, man.
Shouldn't we know more about each other?
I feel like we know a lot. Anyway, you should be on the same page.
Wait.
Wherever you're at. And
Is this real life?
so yeah, just keep an open communication line with your partner. Like, open. You always need to talk because everything changes all the time.
And if
so,
you never talk, you get lonely.
and you get resentful if you never talk too.
Yes.
So where are you on your bottle? And your glass. You gotta hold it both because we gotta know what's in both.
Hold up.
All right. I actually think you've drinking more than I have.
I have. I win.
Ooh.
Because drinking is nothing if not a competition. Come on. Bottoms up that bottle right now.
Bottoms up, bottoms up.
You're adorable. I love you.
I think I love you too.
I love you. I love you. But we need to talk about chores.
All right, so this has been I Love You, but we need to talk about chores. So I hope that we enlighten some things for you and wine glasses. That's what that is.
Get a
Just
Yellowstone wine glass.
Yellowstone, or get one with your name on it.
Oh shit!
And get a curvy wine bottle.
If we were too inebriated to answer a question that you had during this episode that we forgot about, whatever, please reach out. Like, comment, subscribe, do all those things if you liked us. If you didn't like us, still do those things. And don't tell your friends that you didn't like us.
Exactly.
And whatever problem you may or may not, whatever question you have in your relationship, you are not the first one to have it.
You're really not.
So ask us, and we're happy to see if we can work it in, or just get back to you individually. It's all good.
Yeah, but we'll probably do a video about it.
Because
that's what this is about.
Because drinking for work is the best work.
Yes. So have a wonderful night. Thanks for hanging out with me and the Rosé. Please don't break that wine glass. I got it at Yellowstone, and I don't want you to break it.
We got it at Yellowstone.
We got it at Yellowstone.
Look at the Yellowstone. Look at the moose. TTFN.
Time to go.